Hello, fellow Star Trek fans. Welcome back to a brand new season of 10 Forward with me, your host, Mike Overton. And once again, I am joined this time around by my wonderful friend, Jodie Pickens. Jodie, how are you doing this week?
You know, I'm Trek-tastic.
Yeah,
what more do we need?
Trek-tastic too. I mean, look, it's always a good day when there's new Star Trek, and not just like a new season, an entirely new show. And I can't wait to delve into this because I've been so excited. You know, with all these little teasers and clips and everything else that's been hammered around.
We have a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. I mean, the episode is an hour and 15 minutes long. I think it's one of the longest single episodes that we've ever had.
I mean, this is one of those episodes where I feel like we need a 3-part series to break it all down. But we won't do that to everybody. But
No. We won't put you through that. But for anybody that's new here, this is 10 Forward. This is the show where myself and Jodie, we delve into the latest episodes of Star Trek. We give you a little bit of an overview of what the episode's about. We talk about our thoughts and feelings, and then we wrap the whole thing up. So, with that in mind, there's a lot to wrap up in this episode, so let's dive in with episode 1, which is entitled Kids These Days. So Starfleet Academy, episode 1, opens up with a title sequence marking the franchise's 60th anniversary, and my God, it's beautiful. It's sweeping, it's reverent, and it redefines the final frontier for the 32nd century. The burn is acknowledged as a turning point, not just for Starfleet, but also for faith in the future. It sets the tone, and this is about second chances and the costs of earning them. We meet young Caleb and his mother, Ashina Mir, on a remote Federation outpost. She's in debt to a pirate named Noose Baraka, whose help came with a rather heavy price. After a food raid ends in the death of a Starfleet officer, Ashina is sentenced to a rehabilitation camp. Baraka is sent to a penal colony, and Caleb becomes the ward of the Federation. Ashina's parting word cut deep. Don't trust the Federation. Holly Hunter's Nala Ake presides over the case is shaken. When Caleb escapes using her stolen Tri-Com badge, it fractures them both. 15 years later, Caleb is a prisoner en route to Toroth. He fights back. He hijacks the transport, crashes, and learns Ashina is missing from all records. His escape has failed. He's still being sent to Toroth. Meanwhile, at Bajor, Arke has left Starfleet. She's working in a daycare haunted by her decision to separate Caleb from his mother. Admiral Vance arrives. Guess what? Starfleet Academy is reopening, and they want Nala Ake to lead it as Chancellor. She visits Caleb on Toroth, and she offers him a deal. Enroll in Starfleet Academy, and she will help him find his mother. He refuses at first until it's revealed that, his mother escaped a year ago, and reluctantly, Caleb agrees. We board the USS Athena, a mobile training ship with cadets from across the quadrant. God, say that 5 times fast. The computer's voice, played by Stephen Colbert, adds some levity. Commander Laura Thok, a hybrid Klingon Jem'Hadar. She runs a tight ship. We meet Jaden Krug, a Klingon cadet training to be a doctor. Genesis, the daughter of an admiral, is sharp and observant, and Sam, a photonic being, just 4 months old but eager to connect. And she adds some warmth and just a little bit of awkward charm. The doctor, yes, that doctor handles their first physical. He's older by choice, still grumpy and trying to recruit for the Opera Society, and he's still given the wrong tricorder. Caleb records a secret message using the code he once shared with his mother, and unknowingly, it triggers a trap. Spatial anomaly hits, systems fail, and Noose Baraka appears, ready for vengeance. He's been waiting for 15 years, and Caleb just gave him a beacon. He exposes Caleb's message shipwide, triggering panic and mistrust. In sickbay, tension boils over. A cadet named Raimi attacks Caleb. Genesis intervenes, showing early signs of leadership, and Baraka demands the warp core. With the ship in utter chaos and the cadets spring into action. Thok is injured. Caleb, Krog, Genesis, and Sam work to save her. Remy volunteers for a dangerous EVA to deliver vital data, and Genesis holds him back just in time. Arke fakes a warp core breach to scare off Baraka's crew. In the final confrontation, Baraka reveals a brutal truth. He escaped with Anisha even. In the final confrontation, Baraka reveals the brutal truth. He has escaped with Anisha, but something happened to her. Caleb defeats him, the Athena is saved, and Baraka escapes. Ship arrives to Earth with its saucer integrated into the newly rebuilt Starfleet Academy. The visuals are stunning. Hope returns, and in the final moments, RK confronts Caleb over the message he sent. She offers him a choice. Walk away or face your consequences and stay. And he chose to stay. RK then reveals her own past. She lost a son to the burn. She isn't just trying to replace him, but she's trying to do better. That's Kids These Days, a premiere built on legacy, pain, hope, and the question Starfleet always circles back to. What kind of future are we really building? Jodie, I tell you what, let's start with Nala RK. So, do you know what? I think one of the things I really like about her character, right? She's part Lanthanite.
Yes.
She's 300 and whatever it is years old. And do you know what? I kind of like the idea. Now, look, we all know how nuts Lanthanites can be. Look at Pelia from Strange New Worlds.
Thank you, Pelia.
more than a screw loose. But RK seems to be a very... she's the complete opposite, I think.
In a way, I agree with you.
But she's also very sentimental.
She is very sentimental, and she's very Janeway coded.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that combination is interesting because she's more grounded. She obviously has a leadership capability. Pelia has that, but she loves to side on the edge of chaos and whimsy more than this. So I think that's great that we see two different personalities of this species, right?
Yeah.
Now, Ake is part Lanthanite, right? She's not full Lanthanite, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe she's more grounded because of that.
Aged a lot quicker than maybe Pelia has. Pelia, who's been around for centuries,
right?
You know, whereas,
but I love, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying, you go.
I was going to say, rather than Pelia, who's been around a hell of a lot longer. That's what
right. Yeah, she really has, and I think I love that there's a wisdom about Ake still, but I love she likes hardbound books. She likes tactile books.
Well, I was going to say one of the lines we see earlier on once we board the Athena is Laura Thock turns around and says, "We have rebuilt your entire quarters to your specifications, and what a mighty book collection you have."
Right.
Physical books in the 32nd century. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? And so I think that ties into her being a Lanthanite, right? Like she's been exposed to maybe that in future centuries.
I feel like Lanthanite's like physicality.
Yes.
I mean, you look at Pelia, she hoards everything under the sun.
And she loved antiques. Like she's, right? We saw last season that she could pull out the rotary phones and the old gaming consoles. I mean, that's fantastic. So I love that.
I was going to say, and we see in this episode towards the very end, she's got a chaise, she's got a gramophone. There's lots of these really, very antique-y. I mean, I'm also going to say ancient pieces of technology because I suppose by her standards, they are ancient pieces of technology.
Well, and I think what we see in this first episode especially is the way Ake sits in the command chair on the bridge. Now,
I love that whole scene. That whole scene, she gets in and she goes up, down, up, down, up, down, and then she gets it right. And then eventually she just ends up laying in it. It's just like.
But Janeway was notorious for taking some liberty at being comfortable in the command chair on the bridge. Yep. Not quite to this level as Ake, but again, there's some nods to this Janeway sense of leadership and style. And Ake, I think it speaks to her role as a teacher because Janeway loved to mentor and teach. And so does Ake. So, we heard Holly Hunter speak about Janeway being an inspiration when she was doing the red carpet for the premiere of the episode of this series, and I see it, and I know everybody knows I'm a big fan of Voyager.
Really?
I love this
I
even
never
more.
would have guessed. This is the first I'm ever hearing of this, Jody.
I mean, if you put Voyager and DS9 in any current Trek as some nods to the past, I'm all in. But this is exquisitely done by Holly Hunter and the writers and the production team. So I think Ake is. I cannot wait to see more of her and her story.
And also, I mean, let's talk about the sets for a sec. The sets and costumes. Sets and costumes are stunning. They are
stunning.
I mean, I think from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it's the biggest Star Trek set ever. Apparently, it's bigger than the Promenade of DS9.
Can we talk about the bridge?
I
know that it's
beautiful
teaching bridge. There's a little bit of nod to Strange New Worlds bridge,
but there's also a little bit of a nod. There's also a little bit of a nod to Voyager. There's a little bit of a nod to the DS9 control room, the bridge as well, because it's that big round, and it's almost 3 tiers. You've got your command chair in the middle, then you've got this outer ring of your bridge off your main primary bridge officers who One of the things I really liked as well is she knows them all by name. She's read their record. She says hello to each of them individually when we first get to the bridge, which I thought was another great touch. And then you have this outer ring of consoles, which is, I'm guessing they're the teaching consoles. They're the ones that cadets will be using throughout. It's just so well put together, and just the sets in general are exquisite. That main atrium, with the big Starfleet insignia window at the top of it. It's just incredible.
It kind of is like, we got to see so many core rooms in TNG and DS9 and Voyager. Like, they were just spaces that we always went to.
Yeah.
And I feel in Academy already, they are showing us more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the space.
We've seen one of the many sick bays. Well, no, we've seen 2 of the many sick bays, because obviously we've seen briefly saw the main sick bay when they come aboard.
And then we see the medical bay.
We see the medical bay, or I think it's a science, like a medical science lab,
right? Or a teaching medical bay, something like that. I agree, though. It's not the main. Mm-hmm.
We see the bridge. We've seen the main atrium. There's just so many places in this. And
they're all gorgeous, and the detail is. I'm not usually a person that notices that. I'm a character person and a story person, but this just stuck out so wonderfully that it's just so much to take in, and the detail, and I think it's only going to get better because there's more of that to come.
Well,
and I love that they're taking the. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, the other thing I noticed about small details, you've got all of these wraparound screens in the corridors. A lot of them have got 23rd century LCARs, proper LCARs on there with quotes and things in there, which just little details, which was a little bit of fan service, but it just looks incredible. And the honor wall.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started.
So many names on that honor wall.
So many names, and I love that, because it's about what Starfleet has always done well in its creation is nodding to the past, right? I mean, first contact, them learning from the past and taking note from those people who went before them. And the fact that honor wall exists and so many legacy names exist on that wall, it's great for fans. And I hope that we get more nods to that and discussions around that throughout this series, because it's important. It's important to current fans, and I think it's important for the franchise. Let's stay connected to what's come before.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, talking about sets for a second, the Athena is so big, the turbo lifts have chairs in them, or sofas, or benches, whatever you want to call them. And I tell you what, there's this kind of semi-awkward scene, isn't there, in this episode, where you've got... Oh, is that no, hang on. No, that's
episode 2.
That's episode 2. See, this is a problem when you have 2 episodes dropping on the same day. You have to try and remember what's what. But you do briefly get to see Laura Thok and Captain Ake in this turbo lift. And again, just another beautifully put together set. The lighting is gorgeous. I mean, okay, there's no carpet. It's all shiny walls. But what I like, we don't seem to be using that godforsaken AR wall.
Right. This feels...
I didn't notice it once.
I didn't either.
I think it's great that they've kind of learned from that and go, okay, maybe we've overdone it in the past. And I don't know whether that's just to keep budgets down. And as it's a new show, there's a much bigger budget, which is always a possibility. But yeah, and the costumes. Let's just briefly talk about costumes. The new Starfleet uniforms, they're nothing new. We saw them in the last 2 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. But what they've done, there's so many little details.
Mm-hmm.
You have the cadet division badges. So there's 4 divisions, which is going to throw everybody's head up. You've obviously got Command, Operations, Sciences, and then there's undetermined or undefined. Or
Undeclared.
Undeclared, thank you. Mm-hmm. Which is essentially, you don't know what you're going to do, so you're going to learn a bit of everything. Which has a black belt, Tricon badge. So every cadet, I happen to be wearing the Command one today, has used one. And again, they're modeled off the Athena. And it's just a nice touch. Then you have the officer badges, which are the same color again, but they have a gold delta. They have the United Federation of Planets wreath around the outside. And then a nice nod back to previous Trek. We've gone back with round pips, this time on the stem of the badge. They look incredible. The only thing I did notice is the Doctor's doesn't have a rank on it.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of questions around the Doctor here in the 32nd century.
Absolutely.
And this episode definitely poses some of them, and some of those details like that. With rank, that's another one that just adds to the mystery around the Doctor.
He has command level clearance. We see that in the episode.
Yes, but he doesn't seem to be sporting a rank.
So it'd be interesting to see how that kind of plots out throughout the show.
Right.
The cadet uniforms are just gorgeous. They're grey. They have this carbon fiber trim around the outside.
Yes.
Faux carbon fiber. It just looks incredible. Lorna Thok has her own jacket, which has got some intricate detailing across the middle. Obviously, Captain Arke has a slightly tweaked version of the uniform for herself. And then it's all what I'm going to call the casualer bits. We have casual shirts, which are the same color, but they've just got this nice reflective print on here. There are hoodies, which are also in the press photos, which are red with, this kind of like puffed 3D shiny fabric, like a Starfleet Academy insignia here with the division colors on the arm and a massive gold delta across the back. They look incredible. And I tell you, Gersha Phillips has done an outstanding job with the costumes this time around. They are absolutely beautiful. And I tell you what, I cannot wait for people to start making them because...
I was just going to say the cosplayers... I know, yes. I want the hoodie. The cosplayers are going to have so much fun with this.
Yeah.
The jacket is back. The casual tank is back. I think it's just a great uniform. And I understand that with Academy, there has to be a lot clearer, divisions of... the comm badges and whatnot, but my gosh, the detail has been stunning.
Yeah,
absolutely stunning.
It is absolutely. Now, I have to say, I think I can't think of anything bad at all in this episode. Just putting that out there. There's so much good that even if we were to find something bad, to be honest with you, it's going to be so small it's not even worth talking about. So there's nothing bad in this episode for us.
No, there isn't, and I think other things that should be highlighted is watch this episode and listen to the music because Jeff Russo has done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
That nod when the Athena is landing on Earth and we get the Rufus Wainwright rendition of "I Left My Heart in San Francisco."
Yeah, is beautiful.
Glorious. It's glorious.
Yeah.
And then I think this feels like classic Trek but new.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That they walk that line very well and they swear more in this, and we can't go wrong with that.
But we have to talk our standout.
That's easy.
Gina Yashir, who I have watched for years, ever since I was a kid over here in England. Gina Yashir as Laura Thok is just absolutely incredible. The one thing
She's
I really
new to
love.
Me.
She's new to you
in the States. Yes,
she's a phenomenal comedian, and I tell you what, the comedic side of her absolutely comes out in this episode. But my absolute favorite moment is the first time we see her. You've got Caleb being almost dragged in by Arke, and then she's introduced herself, and then Caleb just throws his kit on the ground, and she spins round and says, something along the lines of, did somebody tell you to jettison your gear? Do you not know who I am? I am Commander Lorna Thok, son of whatever, daughter of whatever, from Klingon and Jem'Hadar lineage. And then just starts rambling off and gets him to do 200 press-ups. And then we see the first Klingon, real Klingon in the 32nd century, which is, I can't remember his name now.
Crag.
Crag, and she just tells Crag to drop his gear on Caleb's back, and he gives her, and it just, that whole thing, I was in hysterics. It was so well done, and
it doesn't back down. She's
Sorry?
Amazing. It doesn't back down. Like, her character just delivers and delivers and delivers every time. And I never knew I was going to root for a combination
Klingon
of a
Jem'Hadar
and a Klingon, and be like, I want to hang out with them. I want to be their friend. I think you're fantastic. But here we are with these two very militant cultures, right? Right? Jem'Hadars were made to be soldiers, last we knew, and the Klingons,
it's almost like they're not supposed to go together either.
No, they shouldn't at all. Like, why would anyone do that? Oh my gosh. But then she has this teaching aspect to her. And that's where she pushes this out with this, warrior personality, and then backs it right back into, this is, I'm going to teach you something. I love it.
I cannot wait to see how they develop this character.
I can't either.
I
can't get enough.
No.
The other character I'm going to give a shout out to is Sam.
Yes, I love the hologram, the Starfleet's first holographic or photonic being. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we came across photonic beings in Voyager. And I believe these are possibly descendants from them by the sounds of it.
Picard, we had photonics.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the first time we saw photonics.
Oh, yes.
And I think from what I can ascertain, her fellows, I'm not going to call them a species. I don't know if that's quite right. But I believe they're derived from the ones we see in the Delta Quadrant because of the way that she almost idolizes the Doctor.
Right.
And she does. She, at one point, says, "You're my mentor." He very quickly turns around and says, "Like fuck am I?"
And, let's be clear. That's unusual for the Doctor. That's not the Doctor we left in Voyager. No. It's not the Doctor we left in Prodigy.
She pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, but you were a mentor to Voyager.
Yes.
And it's just
he backed off.
And he backed off. And it's just like, So again, another character I cannot wait to see and see more of and see. I have to say, actually, the one thing I really loved is the first scene we actually get to see her, where she goes up to Genesis and says, she starts to say hello in random languages, and Genesis obviously speaks lots of languages by the sound of it from being an Admiral's daughter, and says hello, and then instantly she turns around, are we friends now? What's your favorite mountain? What's your favorite volcano?
Oh my, she's like,
yeah,
okay, spittle. Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
you're kind of nuts. I like you.
Yes, I just, I don't know that there isn't a character that I want to get to know more. I mean, they're all so great and they bring such unique stuff, but the standout definitely Gina Yashir as Commander Thork. Brilliant. I want to see more of her. I want to see more of Sam, and I love it. This premiere for this series is maybe the best one I've seen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love this episode so much.
So much.
So Starfleet Academy kicks off with one hell of a packed premiere that feels, well, kind of more like a short film or a classic two-parter, clocking in at 75 minutes. Director and showrunner Alex Kurtzman keeps things moving at a brisk pace, balancing sci-fi action, character drama, and lighter moments with ease. This opener has a lot to accomplish. Introduce the 32nd century setting, establish a tone, and make us care about a brand new cast of cadets. And I think it delivers on all fronts. We meet the 5 cadets quickly, each sketched out clearly, maybe if a little broadly. There are some cliches, yeah, but it also has clear promise. Each character has so much room to grow. You know, everything from flaws to laughter and everything in between. And arcs that I think are worth tracking. And importantly, the show doesn't just focus on the kids. Much of the emotional weight falls on Holly Hunter's captain, Nala Ake, as well as anchors the episode with a performance that's both commanding and quietly emotional. Ake's complicated history with Caleb Meir, played with shimmering tension by the newcomer Sandro Roster, gives the story personal stakes, and it landed well. Tatiana Maslany, I can't pronounce her name. Tatiana Maslany's presence as Caleb's missing mother, Anisha, adds depth to his motivations. Was Robert Picardo returns back as the Doctor, adding both levity and history. And his interactions with Sam, a photonic cadet, trying to find her place, are some of the episode's most affecting. Paul Giamatti, choose scenery as pirate news Baraka, but underneath the theatrics is a genuine threat, unpredictable, dangerous, and clearly not done. Though it shares a setting with Star Trek Discovery, Academy wisely positions itself as its own thing. The 32nd century visuals, tech, such as programmable matter and detection of cells, and tone are familiar, but the vibe is fresh. Aside from a mention of Discovery and a cameo from Admiral Vance, the show stands alone. No need for prior viewing, no heavy-handed continuity, and I think that's a really smart choice. Thematically, the show is clear-eyed. This is a series about rebuilding both Starfleet and personal futures. It touches on generational responsibility, trauma, and second chances. Some of the messages, like child separation, are handled maybe a bit too much exposition, but the intent is sincere. And Star Trek has always worked best when it has something to say, and Academy is aiming for that relevance. But not everything lands. The use of more contemporary language and occasional profanity by the cadets might ajar older fans. It's meant to feel grounded and modern, but risks underwhelming the timeless quality that defines the Trek dialogue. Now, that being said, the tone generally strikes a good balance, mixing intensity and warmth, especially through comedic beats from the Doctor and Commander Thok. A scene-stealing hybrid of, a Klingon and Jem'Hadar. Visually, the show does impress. The USS Athena is massive, maybe overly so, but it gives a story of true sense of scale. The interiors, especially the bridge and the Academy integration set, are just stunning. The production design leads into detail, supported by a great score by Jeff Russo and nods to Trek lore that feels earned rather than indulgent. Now, the episode leaves behind a trail of questions. Who exactly is Thok? How does she come to be? What's Baraka really after? And what's happened to Anisha? Will Academy avoid Discovery's pitfalls with overpowered tech and story shortcuts? These mysteries give the show fuel and a reason to keep watching. Expectations were high, and Starfleet Academy mostly rises to meet them. It's not perfect, but the show's lessons have been learned. With heart, humour, and a clear mission, the premiere set a strong foundation. Mostly important, it kind of left me wanting more, and I really can't wait to see episode 2. Now then, with episode 2 being said, you can tune in tomorrow for a second episode of Tenfold, where we're going to be talking about just that. Episode 2 of Starfleet Academy Season 1. And oh my god, I can't wait to watch it. I really can't, because this show has got me wanting more. And do you know what? I think we're going to be sadly disappointed that it's limited to 10 episodes.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I have been your host, Mike Overton. My wonderful friend Jodie Pickens is with me, and you can catch up with more of us here at the Clonestar Podcast at our YouTube channel, where you're obviously watching this. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you get notified when we next upload. You can also catch up with more of us over at our Patreon and at our website clonestarpodcast.com. But remember, be brave, be bold, and boldly go.